Hi, my name is Dante Williams. We are here on the All Good Accounting podcast. I'm here with Sandria Goodall. We are going to be talking about a few accounting practices and knowledge for you guys. How are you doing today, Sandria?
Well, thank you, Dante. I am great. I'm excited today because we'll be discussing office expenses, and I can't wait to dig into it.
So tell me, what is an office expense?
Sure, an office expense is expenses you incur inside of your office. So that's why we have the name, sorry, office expenses. Generally, it's a whole influx of expenses. It's not specifically one type of expense. So you have expenses like supplies, for example. Like, so if you in a business setting with an office, you can have pencils, papers, pens, basic supplies, and it could vary, right? You could put a lot of items into supplies, and so office supplies entails just that. Yeah.
Quick question. Is there a limit to how much expenses can go towards supplies? Or is it however much you spend on supplies, you just make a note of
Okay.
that?
Great question. No, supplies, there isn't any limit. However, you want to make sure that you account for everything.
Okay.
Because a lot of times business owners, miss out. They sometimes forget to, maybe if you went and photocopy something on the outside or bind up a folder, those binding costs, or if you even bought like an app on your phone, or if you, bought like CDs and discs, a lot of times they forget that. And even as small as a USB key that you use to store data on, those are, so it's such a varied amount that you want to make sure it's, one way to capture all of this is that as each of these specific ones, like supplies incur, you write it down somewhere or you
Okay.
record it somewhere
Yeah.
because it's so varied, and then you could miss out.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So we have supplies. What else falls under office expenses?
Yeah, sure. Another one we have is called legal, accounting, and other professional fees. And this is a big umbrella as well. So accounting fees. So obviously, somebody like myself, if I were to do your taxes, your bookkeeping, things like that, then these would be the fees that I would be charging you, and then you'll be recording it under this particular category of expenses. You also have other professional expenses, like if you were to engage with a lawyer, again, for your business, then those fees that you incur with a lawyer, you may have other professionals within, like, you may even have like a psychologist come on to your scene of work and
Yeah.
work with customers, things like that. So again, any kind of professional body that comes into your setting as a business would fall under these categories of businesses. So
Sorry, quick
yes,
question. What about like a legal expense? Like, what would a legal office expense be like,
look
or what would
like.
that? Yeah, what would that look like?
Yeah, yeah. So many businesses would, for example, if they want to write up an agreement, with like with a particular client, they may need it to be, drawn up by
Okay.
a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
If you sometimes, depending on if you're having shares within your corporation, you may have the lawyer write up the shareholder agreement, that or partnership agreement, things
Okay.
like that.
Would
Yeah.
would things like trying to get your business name kind of licensed and put on, wherever, so it's an actual business. Does that still count under legal expenses as well?
That's a great question, and usually, if those particular expenses are done by a lawyer or
Okay.
an accountant, then
Got you.
that would incur there.
Okay.
But if it's something that you do for yourself, like say you register the business name and or things like that, then I would put that under general office expenses.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's keep going down our list here. What are another set of office expenses that we might encounter?
Yeah, sure. So we've got another one we call management and administration fees. So this one, again, is now a general one. So I tend to find people kind of not know too much about this category. And so I could break it down a little bit for you. So management admin fees is mainly management of your firm, but it's not necessarily salary management because they will be considered employees.
Okay.
But we're looking at management of the office. If you have a secretary, like an administrative fee that you would pay for her. You have bank charges. So, if you have a bank account, which you should, those bank charges will fall under that. And just general administration fee for the business. Yeah.
So you mentioned previously professional fees, and then in this one there's administration fees, right? Mm-hmm. So would administration fees be more like, would that be like manager payroll or people that would be in charge of overseeing other people, whereas professional fees would be maybe a contractor that came in and did all whatever they were doing, if that makes sense?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So legal and professional fees. Legal and professional fees will is not really payroll because they're not on your payroll, and neither is management and admin fees. They're separate.
Okay.
But we have like if you have like statements, like your visa statements, and just like admin fees that you incur in your business. So credit card fees, bank charges. Sometimes an example of a management fee would be like if you have, say your business does investments.
Okay.
And, you may have somebody that manages those investment fees.
Okay.
They're not an employee.
Okay.
They're not, a professional, giving you advice and doing stuff. But so we have those expenses like management of things that you have in your business.
Okay. So like an inventory manager or someone like that, or someone that's checking the portfolio, and they're not so much a part of the company and they're not so much like their own company, but they do have a function.
Yeah, the management fee, yeah.
Okay, so I see we also hear under office expenses is telephone. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so telephone is another category, and it tends to be one that, because telephone now is your cell phone, and in the past we would have telephone being, something at your home or at your office before, but now you have a cell phone that you carry with you. We will now to allocate for that particular expense, one will now need to identify what the percentage of it that you use for business and personal.
Okay.
And it all depends. Like maybe you do have a separate telephone, like a cell phone for business, and then of course that will be allocated 100%.
Okay.
But if you are using, a cell phone that you use for both personal and business, this is where you would then identify if you use most of it for business or most of it for personal, and then you'll allocate the percentage accordingly. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's telephone. And again, you have a lot of, you know, companies that have telephone, that do telephone expenses, right? So.
Okay. So as we move further down this list, we have business tax, fees, dues, licenses, memberships, and subscriptions.
Yeah.
Can you go into that a little bit, please?
Yeah, for sure. So under business tax, fees, dues, licenses, and memberships and subscriptions, again, you could see how long this list is, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of the line items like, whoa, what are these? So many things.
Yeah.
And that is true. So yeah, your business tax that you pay out.
Yeah.
So although on the financial statements you've got your taxes payable for CRA.
Okay.
This is a little bit different than the CRA taxes payable. This is like if you have any taxes for business, like we're not talking about HST and stuff like that, but sometimes you incur taxes for different countries that you associate with.
Okay.
You would then put that as a business tax, right? Fees, like if you know, again, this is so general, like if you incur a fee for something, maybe you incur a fee to move some inventory, or not necessarily inventory, sorry, move, somebody comes over and charges you a fee to move an item, a heavy item somewhere else. Again, it's so general.
Yeah.
Dues, like, again, if you're a professional in your right, you may have a due that you have to pay every month or annually. So that works with your license and dues. Like if you're part of the accounting body, for example, there is an annual due that you pay to keep your status as an accountant. Memberships, like if you're a part of a membership of any group.
Okay.
So, like myself, I am an advisor with QuickBooks, and you could pay like an advisor fee, which entails more so into, and again, it's such a general category of expense that you could put, because even the example I just gave you, the advisory fee, that's the fee that you pay for your monthly subscription.
Yes.
For your accounting software.
Yeah.
So again, it will fall under the same category, subscriptions and membership. So anything on a repetitive basis that is some sort of fee that you incur ongoingly to operate your business would fall under this. Like if you're an actor, they have this fee that they call, that you can't remember right now the name, but yeah.
That's okay. Now, quick question. In one of our earlier episodes, you were mentioning how if you want to claim your meals and entertainment, you would only be able to claim up to 50% of it. Is there anything sort of like that in relation to office expenses?
No. So these particular expenses are 100% claimable.
Okay.
The only one that I would see where you may have to do a percentage of would be more the telephone.
Okay.
Again, being that you have the personal and the business side of it.
Okay.
You would have to do a proportionate. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was great talking to you about these office expenses today. And I hope all the listeners enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And I look forward to, if you're wanting more information, you could go to my website to find out more.
And could you say the website for us, please?
Yeah. So my website is all-good-accounting.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So book an appointment there for me, and I'll be more than happy to see you. You could also, tag me on Facebook as well. and Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah.
All under the same name?
Yes.
All right. And yeah, thank you so much. Until the next time.
All right. Thank you.